Kim Kardashian, and you go, yes, and then you click that one. And then you're scrolling through the feed and you see revolution and you go, not for me, I don't really like politics, and you skip that one. And that's great because that lets you get through your day, but it also has the tragic effect of separating us into categories politically as well. So instead of there being a large contingent of non-Iranians here today who are supporting the Iranian revolution and showing support for their fellow community members, because we're all part of the community in Austin. It's not like there's an Iranian Austin and then there's a white Austin and a Mexican Austin. There is a black Austin because we redlined the city because we're racist, but that's a different story. We're gentrifying it because we're racist also, so that's also another story. What I want to do is I want to break the categories. But before I do, I want to point something else out. We also have this tendency as a species to become reactionary. And what happens often is trauma begets trauma. So there's a trauma inflicted, and then it takes us down a path where we end up causing more trauma instead of less trauma. In other words, the attempt to get rid of the trauma creates the trauma. So there's a reaction. On the planet right now, for the last, depending on where you want to start this moment, was it the election of Nixon or the Islamic Revolution? For the last 50 or so, 40 or so years, we've been heading systematically in the wrong direction. The Islamic Revolution was a catastrophe that has shockwaves that are rippling through the world, even if you're not Iranian, even if you're a Texan, or an Egyptian, or an Indonesian, or a Saudi, or a Russian. And what we need to do is, as a population of people on a planet that's experiencing these global level catastrophes, like global warming and pandemics and an economy that's unraveling, failing capitalism. What we need to do is we need to stop thinking in these categories and start looking at how we can create solutions together. And what we need to do is stop looking towards nationalism and religious fanaticism to get us the solution. What we need to figure out is how we can be a diverse planet, a planet like the one that Cyrus the Great envisioned. Where we would work together, where our diversity was our strength, where people willingly believing what they want and practicing their culture and practicing their religion. Cyrus the Great's Bill of Rights, the world's first ever Bill of Rights, almost 2,600 years old, guarantees freedom of religion for everybody in the empire he created, which was an empire of tolerance. It's unimaginable in the world today, in a world where Erdogan destroyed Turkey's democracy, where Orban destroyed Hungary's democracy, where Duda destroyed Poland's democracy, where Bolsonaro is destroying Brazil's democracy, where the world is flying in this right-wing fundamentalist direction. Bolsonaro is a fundamentalist Christian. Orban of Hungary is a fundamentalist Christian. What we need to do is we need to find hope somewhere, and it's in Iran. Iran is on the verge of breaking the trend. The Nazis just did great in Sweden. A fascist just took over in Italy. The United States itself is on the cusp of losing its democracy. 2024 will be the second most important election of your lives. 2022 is the third. 2020 was the first. If we don't start working together as a planet and seeing that there are no categories, there are no boundaries, that today everybody on the planet is watching Iran except Americans because they know that what happens in Iran will have another ripple effect again.
Yeah!
Somehow, we have to convince the American press to pay attention to Iran. Somehow, we have to get the United States to also pay attention to Iran without sticking its fingers in Iran's business. The Iranian people are brilliant and creative. They don't need help. They can figure this out on their own.
Yes!
On the other side of the revolution, Iran will make the government that it needs to make. Iran has attempted a democracy multiple times. 1905. And then the British and the Russians came in, they invaded. They bribed the clerics and they overthrew the democracy. 1951, Iran did another democracy. In 1953, the CIA overthrew it. 79 was an attempt, but of course we all know that derailed. And the tyranny that was imposed by the CIA that lasted a quarter of a century was replaced by a tyranny 10 times worse. It is now this moment when Iranians could conceivably undo all that past trauma and hurt and put together another beacon for the world to admire. Another
Solution, revolution, one solution, revolution,
one solution,
revolution.
This isn't just a revolution. This is a unique revolution. This is a revolution unlike any seen on planet Earth today. It's a woman's revolution. The slogan of this revolution is Zan Zandagi Azadi.
زندگی آزادی زندگی آزادی زندگی آزادی.
When in human history have we seen something like this? This is an anti-patriarchy revolution. It will become a beacon for women all over the planet. It is our duty as a community, as a people, to make sure that we can support Iran in any way we can. If the only tool in the toolbox the United States has is sanctions, then make sure they're directed sanctions. But you need to write your congressman and put pressure on them to do those sanctions. Don't cut off the internet.
Congressperson!
Freeze assets, whatever we need to do to support the Iranian people, including coming to events like this, and including making sure that it's not just a category that came, it's a community that came. And now I want to turn it back over to Chanty.